What's up, Michigan fans? Welcome back to the Maize Bluebeard podcast, where we talk all things Michigan football and basketball. MWB and the place to be, go blue. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for taking time out of your day to hang out with me and talk Michigan football. Look for more Michigan basketball content to come. They beat Oregon yesterday, which is awesome, and I'm going to have some video about that coming out soon. But right now we're talking about football because it was another day of interesting developments. It's becoming more of a trickle and less of a landslide of information. But some really important things happened yesterday that I want to talk about. And of course, I've got some more linebacker news on the whole secret linebacker front. And I can't wait to talk to you about it. So if this is your first time here, please consider subscribing so you know when I have things come out, and it helps the channel grow. If you missed it this morning, I'm starting a question of the day poll where every day in my community section under post, or you might have just seen it scrolling, but I'm going to put a question out every day for you guys to answer. And today's is a fun one and a tough one. So please go there and vote. I'd love to talk to you in the comments there. And also leave a comment here. I respond to every comment, and this is why I do it. I love to talk Michigan sports with all you Michigan fans. It's been a blast. Thank you for all the support, and it's just getting started. Go blue, baby. So without further ado, let's get into all we're going to talk about in today's video. Let's do it. As you can see, I'm wearing my Star Wars Michigan shirt. I'm not afraid to show how big of a dork I am. That's what's different about this channel, is just that we're going to talk about Michigan sports all the time. It's going to be awesome. But some of my personality might bleed out, and I hope that is good. Hopefully it helps you realize that it's okay to love sports and be nerdy for things as well. So anyway, let's get into the things that happened. Of course, in my last video, I talked about Aisea Moa coming to Michigan, which was awesome, and we wondered when his brother was going to come. Well, ba-boom, that came in yesterday. Aisea Moa from Michigan State. He has come to the Michigan Wolverines, joining his brother, and he'll be part of the linebacker room. He'll provide some good depth. He's got some talent. We'll see what the coaching staff can do with him and how much of an impact he can make. He's been really just a rotational player at Michigan State. He's played a lot. He's played in every game there last season, but he only had 12 tackles. It didn't make a huge impact, but he's a solid rotational player, special teams guy, and maybe he can take a leap with this coaching staff. He clearly has talent, so we shall see what's up with him. But let's talk about the elephant in the room. We're all still worried about linebacker, right? But let's just look at what it is right now. If it was just this with this coaching staff, I think it wouldn't be as terrible as we think. But they do want to find a star linebacker, a stud, and I think they really want to find a star and a really solid one also, which we'll talk about in a little while. But right now, we would probably have our starters would be Troy Bowles, Nathaniel Etta, and probably have a rotation of other players with Max Alford, Christian Pierce, Aisea Moa, and Chase Taylor, who I think is going to be a beast and that people are sleeping on. So really, are any of them proven stars? No. But do they all have talent? Were a lot of them highly recruited? Are they solid players? Do we have an amazing coaching staff that knows how to coach up and help players grow and progress? We've got more than half a year for these players to grow and learn from this coaching staff. So just remember that. No doom and gloom. But they are working on getting more linebackers. So we're going to talk about that in a little bit. The other big thing that was officially, finally confirmed 100%, Enow Etta, defensive tackle, is coming back, baby, and I am excited. Now we have him and Trey Pierce, two big old boys who have experience, who have played, who have flashed at times. Trey Pierce is just solid. We know what we're getting with him. And Enow Etta has been a rotational piece, a lot like Cameron Brandt, but they have flashed. They've been solid. They've been dependable. And I think now that they can be the guy, they can take that next step with this coaching staff and be just an incredible part of this team going forward. But now you look at this defensive line as is. Like I said, they could add more guys. They're not looking. And there's a lot of defensive linemen in the portal still. But you look at this defensive line, and John Henry Daly plans to be healthy and ready to go. Will he be as disruptive? Will he have lost a step? Who knows? But his plan is to play, and he's a very good player, and he's tough, and I have a feeling he's going to be ready to go, and he's going to be great on one side of the line. And then on the other, you could have any number of edge rushers and rotating with Daly as well. But you've got Cameron Brandt, who has been super sub and flashed at times, been a great rotational piece, bouncing from side to side, spelling guys. He could get a chance to start and be the guy and take off. You've got Nate Marshall, who we all are super high on. He could get a chance to really shine now and not just be in here and there, but be in consistently. Dominic Nichols is a guy that I really like, that I think could be really well. Carter Meadows, watch out. He's a guy that I think could be really well. Titan Davis, I think could be really good. I'm not sure if he'll be defensive tackle or edge. I think edge, but he could be really good. So now you've got all these pieces that you can rotate in on the edges, and I think that looks pretty good. Now let's look at the interior. Like I said, Enow Etta, Trey Pierce, awesome starters, veterans. They've been playing. They have experience. And now you've got guys behind them. And then you have Jonah Leia, who can spell those two big hog mollies and really use his pass rushing skills being next to a big guy like those two. And then you got the youth behind them that now can rotate in and learn and grow and flash. And David Pepe, you've got Marvin Beagle, and then you have a freshman coming in who I love, Valerejo, who I think just really reminds me a lot of Mason Graham, and I'm excited about that. So there's a lot of pieces now you look at, and I feel pretty good about the defensive line. And I feel good about the linebacker and the rotations and the depth. I just want like one guy that we can count on at least, but I would love one stud and one really solid guy. And I think we could have one of those two on their way. I'm going to talk about it at the end of the video. So welcome back, Enow Etta. I'm happy to have you back. My friend, you made the right choice. It's going to be an awesome year. With this coaching staff, they're going to help you grow, and they're going to help you play at your highest level you ever have before. I have no doubts, and I'm excited. So a couple of interesting stories of Michigan in the news. First, of course, a lot of you probably saw it when Kyle Whittingham sat down and did an interview with his good friend and former co-worker on the Utah Utes, Urban Meyer, and of course, former Ohio State coach. And Urban Meyer and him talked. It was a great conversation. They actually have a pretty good banter and dynamic and, back and forth. It's pretty fun to see them talk. But anyway, we as Michigan fans knew this, but it was just crazy to hear Kyle Whittingham drop that Bryce Underwood did not have a QB coach, which I knew that, but supposedly Chip Lindsey was the QB coach and OC, but he called plays from the booth, from way up in the skybox. How is he being a QB coach to Bryce Underwood when he's up there? He's not. And Sharon wasn't doing anything. He was on his phone. So who was taking care of Bryce? Who was coaching him up when he made mistakes or when he accidentally made good plays despite bad mechanics? Nobody. And that's just insane. It's just atrocious. The level of just terrible coaching done by Sharon Moore and the staff. What a breath of fresh air Kyle Whittingham and his staff have been. And I'm excited for the future, but it's just wild to hear it out loud and now to hear other fans see it and be like, you paid this guy to come here and he's got raw talent. He's supposed to be the next big thing. And you don't have a dedicated QB coach looking out for him and helping him coach him up during every game and through the season. Insane. I don't even have any more to say about it. It's none of us are surprised anything more that we hear about Sherrone Moore. And speaking of that, something else that was kind of a bummer to hear, a wide receiver, Anthony Simpson, who last year a lot of us wondered what in the world. He looked amazing before he transferred in. He was very fast. He was very productive. And he never saw the field. And we just thought, what the heck? Why is he not playing? And as the year went on, other receivers played over him that you just did not understand. Well, he's been quiet through the whole thing. He's entered the transfer portal to try to play somewhere else. And he's posted some things and said some things about, basically being the quickest slot receiver, winning reps in practice. Some of the team captains and his co-players tried to stick up to get him more playing time, but he did not. Other people played over him, and he said that other players played over him and other coaches looked the other way. And Sherrone Moore did not step in and do anything because he was being blackmailed by these players and coaches, which, would mean that they knew about everything going on. Then it's just insane that these players knew everything going on, and some of them were using it against each other. It's just what a toxic, terrible mess, and what a ray of sunshine we have found ourselves receiving now from Kyle Whittingham and his staff. Just wild. I just love that these young men have coaches and a staff to look up to now, adults in the room who are going to help them grow into wonderful, high character people first, and great football players as well. And they're just going to be able to focus on football, have fun, and do what a college football player, a young man should be able to do. So I'm just glad you hear this stuff, and it's like, oh, but it's over. The sun has risen again, and we're back on our way. So those were just interesting stories for me to hear that just keep, just making me so glad we can put separation between us and the Sherrone Moore era. Now, what I wanted to talk about, what I'm very excited to talk about, is linebacker. So I talked about Arion Carter, the Tennessee linebacker who went in the NFL draft and then withdrew, and he's going in the transfer portal because of the rumors talking about how Michigan was talking to linebackers behind the scenes, and the rumors were they were working on one that's already on a team, possibly in the Big Ten, who was on the fence, and that once they went in the portal, they'd be coming. There's rumors about someone going in the draft and coming back. There's rumors about just someone undecided, all these things. So I don't know for sure still, obviously. I think Arion Carter would be amazing. There's some mixed feelings on him. When you look up his stats, they're great. I've watched film of him. I would say film, like I get some cool film like I'm a scout or something. I've watched highlights on my phone of him, and he looks great. He looks like a leader on the field. He's a captain. He was second team SEC. He had 7 tackles in a game. I mean, he looks like a solid, good linebacker that I would love to have in our room. But his PFF grade was low, which I need to figure that out because he led the league, the SEC, in tackling for linebackers, which is pretty impressive. So I don't know. Anyway, I would be happy if we got him. I think he's great. So could he be the star stud linebacker that they're talking to? I don't know. There's a lot of rumors of him going elsewhere. I haven't heard anything else, so it's possible that it's not, but we shall see. And I haven't heard anything yet about if there's a Big Ten linebacker or anyone else yet, but the transfer portal has closed for players to enter, but remember, players can still be signed anytime, so hopefully we'll get linebacker clarity soon, and then they can just add little fun surprise pieces as time goes on, but we'll have a good idea of what our roster will be like. So hopefully soon, but I do have a linebacker that I want to talk about, and I'm going to need you to hold off on the doom and gloom when I first talk about him. So I love Maize Brew. I'll link their website again down below. They keep us updated on so many things. But they, on their site, they talked about how per Chris Ballas of the Wolverine, which is fantastic. Check out their YouTube channel. And I'm subscribed to the Wolverine. They're fantastic. But love that magazine. Always have. So Chris Ballas was reporting that they are really interested in going after a linebacker who entered the portal. Now here's where I need you to stay with me. After what I say next, give me a couple minutes and you're going to be as excited as I am. But he is from FCS, North Dakota. A linebacker who's a graduate transfer with 1 year of eligibility left, and it is Nathaniel Staehling. Okay, get it out. Start fuming. Say, FCS, this guy can't be that good. But if you've ever watched FCS, North Dakota is like not the Indiana, because Indiana just got, really good in the last couple of years, but they're like the Alabama, the LSU, not LSU. They're like I don't even know they're like the Georgia, Alabama, Ohio State of FCS. They're always in the playoffs, always number 1 or 2 seed, always undefeated, always winning championships or getting close to it. So they're very good. They're not like a lower pack. So they play at a high level. They play really good teams. They go on playoff runs every year. So he's a good linebacker. And let me tell you all about him. Let me tell you all about Nathaniel Staehling. Give me a couple minutes and you will be excited. I promise. All right. So he was a redshirt junior last year. And last year, these were his stats. 75 tackles, 6 tackles for loss, 3 interceptions, and 2 of them were pick sixes returned for touchdowns. He's an athletic guy. He was a team captain. He is a smart guy. He's been all academic all-star, whatever you want to say. He's on the honor roll. He gets really good grades. He's a very smart player. He was an all-conference honorable mention. So he was recognized for his year that he had. And here was his kind of trajectory through college. He redshirted his freshman year. Then his redshirt freshman year, he was a rotational special teams piece, like most freshmen are, starting off. And then his redshirt sophomore year, he was ready to be a starter and have a year, but he had an injury that kind of ruined his season. So then last year, he finally got his chance, and he was a dynamic playmaker, second on the team in tackles, and all those other things I talked about. He had a great year. I've watched highlights on my phone of him, and he's just he flies around. He's in the right place at the right time. He hits hard. He plays hard. He's got a high motor. He reminds me just of some of those stud linebackers from Michigan in the past. He's quick, but he's quick and athletic. When you watch his highlights, of course, he doesn't look like he's like running as fast as he doesn't look like a burner, but he is athletic and quick, because let me tell you, in high school, listen to what this guy did. He was a captain in high school. He played 3 years on varsity, which shows how good he was. But he played safety and linebacker, but he also played quarterback, running back, receiver. He was the kicker and the punter. This guy was a beast. He is a Swiss Army knife, and he is a great locker room guy. He's a leader, a captain, all academic, which means he's smart. He stays out of trouble, and he just loves to play football. He's nasty on the field, and he's, homecoming king off it type of thing. But listen to some of his stats in high school. So as a linebacker and safety, he had 62 tackles, 2 forced fumbles, 3 interceptions, and 2 blocked kicks, which is pretty awesome. 2 blocked field goals. So that's pretty cool to hear. But then let's talk about how athletic he was on offense, all right? As quarterback, he threw for 830 yards and 7 touchdowns. As a wide receiver, he had 8 catches for 112 yards and 2 touchdowns. And as a running back, here we go, as a running back, and probably as a quarterback. This was his rushing stats, so it could have been both together. But anyway, he ran for 1,300 yards, and get this, 20 touchdowns. So altogether, between defense, playing quarterback, running back, wide receiver, he had over 30 touchdowns. And he was kicking field goals and punts too. I mean, this guy's awesome. I want them to get him. He is a beast, and he'll only be here for 1 year, but he's going to play his heart out, and he's going to be a great locker room guy. I think he's a great fit for this team. And maybe he could be that stud that kind of helps calm the rest of the room down, and they can look to him to be the leader, you know? I mean, he could just be one of those guys that is just hard work. I mean, Jimmy Rolder, you know, he could be like that, but I think he's better. He's more dynamic and more of an athlete. But he just, watching him play just reminds me of a mix of like an old school linebacker running around looking to tackle and hit people, but he's also very athletic. And he's in the right place at the right time to get picks and he knows how to, as he's tackling somebody, strip the ball. Like, just solid, fundamentally sound, and like I said, just a good all-around person and kid. I'm excited. I really hope that they bring him in. We'll see if Nathaniel Staehling is another linebacker that Michigan gets. Because I would feel pretty good if they got him. So when you hear a friend or someone on a message board talk about Staehling and say, oh, an FCS kid, he's not going to be able to do any good, you tell him that the Maize and Bluebeard, Chris, talked about how dynamic he was in high school. You tell him he was a quarterback, running back, wide receiver, safety, linebacker, kicker, and punter, and that he's old school and new school, and he's really smart, and he's just who this linebacker room needs. But can you imagine if they grabbed Staehling and they got someone like Arion Carter or TJ Duddery? Can you imagine that with what they already have? Guys, I'm getting pumped to see who they bring in. I cannot wait. So I hope you enjoyed learning about Staehling. I loved learning about him, and I'm really pumped, and I hope you are too. So that's going to do it for today's episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you again for watching. Please leave a comment. I respond to them all. I'd love to talk to you. Let me know what you think about all the stuff I talked about, and of course about our possible future linebacker. We shall see. But yes, North Dakota State, NDSU, Nathaniel Staehling, Staehling, if you want to look it up. Best way to find highlights I found was just through his Instagram. He's posted some things. So, but you'll find other stuff too if you just Google it. Check him out. I think we will love him at Michigan. If this is the first time here, a new channel, I've only been around for a little over a week, and it's going great. I'm having a blast, but please subscribe so that you know when my next video comes out, and you can be right back here with me, hanging out, chatting, and in the comments, and I can't wait. So I'll see you in the next video, and until I do, as always, go blue.